into this next video, make sure that you're aware that we have a contest where you can enter to win up to $20,000. All you got to do is go to the TroyKearnsChannel.com, enter to win, and make sure you text the number below. Troy Kearns, real estate investor, bringing it to you from my office in Las Vegas. And on today's video, I'm going to talk about the qualities you need to have in order to be a great, good landlord. In this video, we're going to discuss the following: why being a good landlord matters, knowing the law, treating your rental properties like businesses, being available, being ready to act, qualifying great tenants. So this video is all about the qualities that are going to make you a great landlord. That's how you're going to be profitable. That's how you're going to make more money. That's how you're going to make your bottom line. It's going to save you a lot of aggravation, a lot of mistakes that I made early on so that you can make more money than I did when you invest in real estate. So make sure you stay tuned to the very end, because I always save the best for last, but I always make sure to include something really good in the middle so that you watch the whole video so that my videos can grow and I can provide you more content for free. And if you do me just a big favor and hit that subscribe button, and do me a little favor, hit the like button if you like the video. And if you've got anything to say, just throw a comment in there. And if it's something that we want to make a video about, we will definitely do it. And I make sure that I personally respond to all my comments so you won't go unanswered. All right, number one, why does being a good landlord matter? You want to have a symbiotic relationship with your tenant. Your tenant needs to understand that they pay for rent and that you are going to be a good landlord, handling repairs that need to be handled and also educating your tenant on what needs to be done on that end. If you can have a symbiotic relationship with your tenant, you're going to make more money because you're not going to have any turnover. You're going to have a tenant that stays there for a long time, and that means more money in your pocket. Anytime you have to move tenants out, you're going to have to do repairs. You're going to have to relist the property. You're going to lose out on monthly rents, and it's just a bad situation. I try to keep tenants in there as long as they want to be in there. So I have over 300 tenants. That means I have over 300 rentals, right? So I know a thing or two about being a good landlord. And I will tell you that one of the things that I pride myself on is the length of lease that people will stay in my properties. I have a tenant right now in Hattiesburg, Mississippi that's been in that property since I purchased, almost 7 years. I've got a property that I just recently sold where the guy was in there for 11 years. And prior to me buying it, he was with the former owner for 5 years. So if you are a great landlord, people will stay with you until you sell the property, which means you don't got to spend any more money and you make more money and they pay off your mortgage if you have one. Number two, don't be a bozo. Read the law. Know what the local codes are. Every city's different. There's landlord-friendly states and there's not so friendly landlord states. You need to know the cities, the states, the codes, the regulations. You need to understand them, or find a property manager who understands them for you. If you can find a property manager and you don't have to do that, and they are great with tenants and they want to keep them for a long time, that's the best way. But when you start off, you really want to do it by yourself so that you understand what a good property manager looks like, because you are one. But by knowing the local laws, you're going to keep yourself out of trouble, right? Let's say you do something that you think is legal and it ends up getting you a bunch of hot water that you can't get out of. Now you've got a tenant that's mad at you. You could be in trouble with the local ordinances, and it's just bad news. Everybody makes mistakes, but understand that every city's different, every state's different, and it could get into the HOAs. They even are kind of like a little bit of a quasi-government. So if you're renting in HOAs, I definitely recommend you understand if there's rental restrictions, all of that stuff. Just know it so you don't get in trouble, so that you can make an educated decision and that you're not wrapped up in some sort of trouble that you don't even want to be in. An example of knowing a good law is make sure that you first understand what it takes to evict a bad tenant. Are you working in a landlord-friendly state, city, whatever? You need to make sure that you understand how long is it going to take you to get a bad tenant out. That's the number one law that you need to make sure that you know. Trust me, because all of the states that I invest in, it's going to take me at max 60 days to get that person out. That's if they fight me. Number 3, you need to treat your rental income properties like a business. That's truly what they are. What do I mean by that? You need to make sure they're done by an LLC, that they're held in an LLC. An LLC is a limited liability corporation that protects you from tax liability and from personal liability when you rent your property. You need to set it up like a business. Most businesses today are not set up as sole proprietors, which is the least favorable tax structure and liability structure there is. You need to make sure you have insurance for your business, and you need to make sure that you have low overhead for your business, okay? And also, make sure you get all the write-offs and tax benefits that come with owning real estate. That meaning when you travel to a new location, you can write off 100% of everything that you spend on that trip while you're looking for real estate. Make sure you check with your CPA. If you need a good one, comment below, like us, and we will definitely send you one. I've got a fantastic one, and I found him after an intrusive audit, so I know what I'm talking about. Number 4, be available, okay? Don't be a landlord when they call with something and you're just never around, you're never available. You're gonna cause problems, okay? I had this issue happen to me in the past, okay? I had a property manager who worked with me who was not available to the tenants. He just would not respond to them. And guess what they did? They called code enforcement on me because they couldn't get their problem addressed. So they said, you know what? We're gonna go call code enforcement on this guy, and now he's gonna fix it. And that's what I did. But if I was available, if my property manager was available, it was just a simple leaky faucet that we could have easily fixed. But the lady got so tired of dealing with my property manager that she reported me to code enforcement. And you don't want that. It's just aggravating, okay? So make sure you're available so that you don't have some tenant get really mad at you and then you made a mountain out of a molehill. Understand that even though you're available, you need to set your boundaries, okay? You're not available 24/7. You're available by these means, by these means. You could say, hey, listen, only text me. Or for me, we use a service called Appfolio. And when tenants contact me directly, I definitely understand their need to do that because they know that, hey, the buck stops with this guy. But I always redirect them by saying, please make sure all of your requests are done through Appfolio so that we can respond in a timely manner and I don't forget about it. So make sure that your tenants are aware that you're available, but you're not beholden to them, okay? You're not the guy who's gonna run out there, anything they need. You're just gonna kind of perpetuate that situation, and that's gonna make the tenant think that you're gonna do whatever they want and a lot more. Have a heart, but think with this is a business, okay? If they broke it, they need to pay for it and fix it. Number 5, be ready to act. If you've got a leaky problem with water or you've got an HVAC system that's out, handle it right away, okay? These are health and safety issues that you just need to be ready to act. Make sure before you buy a rental property that you've vetted handyman. Make sure you've got good plumbers. Make sure you've got good electricians. You need to be ready to act so if a situation comes up that you can handle it. You need to make sure you know a good eviction attorney, or if you can do the evictions yourself in your state, you better make sure you know how to do them. Make sure that you're ready to act quickly. This also goes to show when you actually have someone on the hook that wants to rent your property. If you take 2 or 3 days to respond to them, they're gone, they're on to something else. So make sure you can move quickly, act quickly with repairs and with responses. You'll be a great landlord. Number 6, if you want to find good tenants, you need to listen to this in its entirety. I told you, I saved the best for last, and this is the best. It's not a property that makes a property bad, it's tenants. There's all sorts of things that you can pick up after being a landlord for a lot of years, like myself, that you're gonna find out that I can spill the beans for you right now. If a tenant tells you that they left their last property because it had bed bugs, that's a warning sign, okay? It's chances are they're the carriers, and the reason that that tenant is leaving is because the owner's kicking them out, and that because they're messy. So people that give you drama and stories about their last rental and that victim mentality, you don't want them, okay? You do not want victim tenants. You want good tenants with good credit. And if they don't have good credit, then make them double down on the deposit, make them committed to it, make them financially committed, and let them know if they're a tenant tenant that's trying to rebuild their credit, tell them, say, listen, we're gonna make you pay a double deposit, but if you work with us and you're not late, we will report you positively to the credit bureau, okay? Give them an incentive to work with you. You know, always offer a really good price so that you can attract the best and the most tenants. You wanna screen the best tenant for that property, okay? Don't go out there and you got only one person to choose from because you're the highest price on rent and they're the most desperate, and then you got a desperate tenant and a landlord who doesn't know what the heck he's doing. So price your properties competitively so you can attract the biggest pool of tenants and then narrow it down to the person who fits your property the best. The one with the best credit history, the one with the most financial capability to pay it, or what I like, a Section 8 tenant with guaranteed rent. But I still want those qualifications on that Section 8 tenant. I want them to be a good tenant, right? Just because that income is guaranteed, if they destroy my property because they're just, you know, not great people, if they paint on the walls, if they do all this stuff and it's gonna cost me money, I don't want them. Even if I got guaranteed money, because every day they're in there is a day that that property's going down in value because they're destroying it. And I have had those tenants. I've been through it. I had guys steal my appliances after being in there for a week. I've had guys break into properties. There's a lot of bad characters out there, but it usually comes from not vetting them properly. Ask for landlord references. Get stuff from them. Don't just rely on their paper transcripts. Some people know how to cheat on that stuff. Call their employer. If they don't have good landlord references and they've been around the earth for a while and they've been a renter, guess what? They're not a good tenant. Do not rent to them, okay? They should have a good landlord reference. Good people have good landlord references. Bad people don't have any references. That's how it works. If you're looking to take a second chance, make sure you double down on the deposit. And if you've got someone who has a history of breaking leases, a history of being evicted, that pattern of behavior is not changing and you're not the one to make it happen. Move on to something else, figure out something else. Don't operate your business from your heartstrings, okay? Operate it from your pocketbook and be empathetic, be sympathetic, but don't be a fool. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it takes a lot of work to be a good landlord. I hope that you have the most amount of success you can possibly have. I hope you meet some great tenants that you can build a relationship with, that they're gonna stay in your property for a long time. One of my key points to take away too that I just am gonna mention right now, don't jack up the rent on good tenants. Raise it slowly every couple of years. It'll keep them in the property, and you jacking up the rent, you're gonna end up chasing them away, costing yourself more money and time and more aggravation. A good tenant is hard to find, so make sure you're a great landlord, and I hope this helps you make a lot of money, and if it did, or if you think it is gonna, make sure you subscribe, like, hit the notification button, and comment below if you want us to do a video on something that you like.